What is up, everyone, and welcome to Week 15 of the regular season. My name is NelStar15, your glorious host, joined as always by Anthony. We are missing one today. Nathanius couldn't make it. He's up in the Pacific Northwest with family, enjoying the holidays. So if you're watching us live on Twitch, he's actually here. You can look. He's right next to me.
Which way?
Right, other way. Point the other way.
This one?
Point the other way.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, he's over there. He's over there.
Okay.
You guys can't see it, but like Anthony's camera's cut off for you guys if you're watching the stream. But I see a Venom poster, so he's just pointing straight at Venom's mouth. It was great. It was right there. But welcome on in, everyone. Anthony, how was your weekend? It was another great weekend for you in football, wasn't it?
Woo-hoo! Yes, my Dolphins 6 wins in a row. Oh my goodness, I hate them because we are destined to be a 8-8 ball team and get the 16th overall pick.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. Carolina's going to figure out a way to win the last 3 games and just ruin their draft position too. So don't worry. It's going to happen.
Yay! I'm going to do it.
Yeah. The Bucs and their injuries are helping us with that one. So goodness gracious, though. Let's talk about some football. Fantasy football playoffs are in motion. Also, we're recording this as the Tuesday night games are happening, so we'll probably talk about those as they go on. As Anthony makes a face, so there's probably something happen. What happened?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm really not going to try to make facial reactions. Like, I'm watching the Eagles and the football team play, which is kind of important. I'll talk about my fantasy. I'm currently in a nail biter right now.
Same.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm losing.
Let's talk about it. As we're watching these games live, we don't get to just come in and say Nell's win of the week. I'm in a bye. For the Raindrop Sports Fantasy League, so it doesn't matter that my team probably would have scored 30 points this week. But my money league on ESPN, I'm down by 9 points. I got Cooper Kupp and Dallas Goedert both playing, one in each game. And I need some greatness to happen. I need Jalen Hurts to keep finding Dallas Goedert. I need Cooper Kupp to put up another 8 points.
We just dropped the pass.
Didn't need you to tell me that. All right. Anywho, okay. It's a nail biter over here too. I'm 11-3 in that league. And next week, apparently, I'm going to be catching Moss fan. My leading receiver just tore his ACL, so we're going to talk about that here in a little bit too. But as we move on down, playoff pickups. Who are you picking up for the next week of the playoffs? There's not a lot of people out there, you guys. There is not a lot of people out there, and that is okay. But there are some people that you can look at. As always, I'm going to throw his name out there. If Taysom Hill is still available in your league, grab him if you need a quarterback. He's still putting up points. He's putting up good fantasy points, and there's something worth in that. Another note, Devonte Smith has been dropped in a lot of leagues. If you just need 5 points next week, grab Devonte Smith if you need a receiver. And then if you want some kicker points, go pick up Nick Folk from the Patriots. Last week was the slowest scoring week with 5 points, but other than that, the guy's been dropping 6 points or more every week, averaging in the area of 12 to 13 points. So if you're looking for a kicker to kind of put you over the edge, the New England Patriots are fans of field goals whenever you have Mac Jones as a quarterback attempting 3 passes. That being said, Nate's not here. So we can't talk about Nate's loss of the week. So Anthony, let's talk about your game and what's happening right now.
So I really thought I lost because once I knew that I started Kyler Murray and they lost to the Lions, I thought I was done for. So I didn't check. I just got a text right before we went live. My friend was like, "You're still in the game." And I was like, "How?" So right now I am currently down by 3.75 points. It doesn't look good for me because I only have McLaurin and Miles Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
He has Stafford, Cooper Kupp, who just scored
again.
He just went up from 10 to 15. So and then Bobby Wagner, and they have the Rams defense. They got 4 people to my 2. I don't believe in Washington football team's quarterback because I don't even know who he is. I forgot. And Miles Sanders, I mean, I just it doesn't look good. I have
No.
a right now 28% chance to win. So
Hey, that's
yeah,
bad.
this
So
looks like
you're
a loss.
saying there's a chance?
Sure.
Yeah. I also forgot.
Sure.
I have Matt Gay, the kicker for the Rams as well, and this being a low scoring game, having a kicker there is great. So I have 3 players right now in Dallas Goedert, Cooper Kupp, and Matt Gay. So I might be able to pull off this win.
Wait a minute now. Are you in a bye in that league?
No. This is we don't get buys in this league. It is top 8 teams go in. And wait, how's it even set up? I'm getting noises from people. But how did it go off? Let's look at this. I don't know how ESPN works. I just know I'm in the playoffs. That's all I know right now. But it's an interesting week for fantasy, and next week is going to be even more interesting. Moss Fan brings up a good point. Devonte Smith is still a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver 3 or flex spot if you need him. Maybe a wide receiver 2. They are playing against the Giants, which helps. I would have more faith in Devonte Smith putting up more points as a wide receiver 2 if Gardner Minshew was playing. But right now, it looks like Jalen Hurts is going to take in the lead. So if you are desperate, looking for a receiver to throw in there, find Devonte Smith. He's been dropped in a lot of leagues, so that'll help you. But that being said, fantasy football is not the most important thing we have to talk about today. We got a bunch of stories coming out of this week. First and foremost, this weekend, it confirmed what we said weeks ago. Tom Brady and the Bucs can't beat the Saints. They can't, and this time it was injuries. It was Tom Brady making bad decisions. Anthony, what's going on with the Bucs right now?
I think they ran into a Saints team that's their kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
Like that front four for the Saints went after that line, and I really thought Tampa's offensive line, I still believe, is like top 3 in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watch Brady struggle when he doesn't have his top targets. He tried to do way too much. Mm-hmm. Y'all see that run when he was trying to like go for the first down?
Yeah.
Man, I thought that was in slow-mo. Like he was doing way too much. And that's why, I don't know if we have in our run of the show, they're bringing back Antonio Brown, which, a lot of people can debate if that was a smart move or not. But you heard what the coach said. The coach is like, right now, as a football team, we need playmakers.
Yeah.
Because right now, Brady's hurting. They just lost Chris Godwin for the year. It is right now a rough time. You don't want to be limping into the playoffs, Tampa Bay. But
they are. Yeah,
they need the firepower back. They don't have Fournette or Godwin.
And I would say this doesn't take away this, like the shortcomings of the Bucs shouldn't take away the fact that while the Saints didn't score a touchdown, they played a great game of football. Taysom Hill, I mean, only threw for 150 yards, but he ran for another 33. He's doing his best Lamar Jackson impersonation, being the leading rusher on the team, which is fine. But Marquez Callaway really kind of getting his first breakout game with 6 catches for 112 yards. Sucks that none of those went to the end zone. But it is what it is. The Saints won that game on defense. There's no doubt about it. You sacked Tom Brady 4 times, and you kind of shut down the passing game and hold Tom Brady to 214 yards with almost only 50% completion percentage. You're doing something right. And I think the Saints defense is something we haven't talked about all season. But I mean, they kept pressuring that offensive line that's a bunch of studs in Tampa Bay. And you see what happens. Tom Brady's not exactly the most mobile guy, so if that offensive line ain't protecting him, he's kind of screwed back there.
Yeah, it's a wake-up call. I'm reading the news. They signed Le'Veon Bell.
Yep.
Which I forgot he was. I don't know what running backs are left, to be honest. They're all shuffling around. You're seeing like 2016 like Pro Bowlers getting re-signed to somewhere else that are just. I mean, Adrian Peterson. He went from the Titans to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. They just need help right now.
It's funny you bring up Le'Veon Bell because in our note it says, I think it was like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, whenever Le'Veon Bell was cut. all of us were in agreement here on the regular season that Le'Veon Bell was done as a running back in the NFL. His career was over.
Yeah.
So apparently we were wrong.
Because there's nobody else out there. I mean, you're going to see Vinny Testaverde come back.
Dude's like 60.
Hey, that's fine. Just throw a check down.
How old is Vinny Testaverde? He's 58 years old. He could still, dude. Vinny Testaverde could go onto the league right now and still put up 150 yards in a game.
He only needs about 6 games. That's all he needs. That's all, Now, if he gets hit one time,
he dead.
That's it. He rip.
Rip.
Yeah.
Bring in Vinny Testaverde to be Tom Brady's backup. We'll just set up a geriatric center in the side of the office.
Yeah, retirement home in the backfield. Nah.
Hey, Florida is a retirement home. You should know.
Yep, perfect. Warm. Good for your bones. It's warm.
Yep. It's perfect. But speaking of teams that can't win right now, the Cardinals getting beat by the Lions.
Huh?
Yeah. What happened?
That was supposed to be a surefire win. I started Kyler Murray. I was like, oh, bet he's going to throw about 4 touchdowns. I might have a chance in my league. They're struggling.
Yep.
They are, once again, another one of those teams. They're going to limp into the playoffs. They could lose in the first round if they keep messing around like this. They need a wake-up call. Maybe they do need NFL to cancel a week of football because they need to figure out something.
Yeah.
You don't lose to the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't say Detroit's the worst team. I'd probably say Jacksonville is. But Detroit's had some close games against some good teams. So, but I mean, the Cardinals, and we talked about this when they got beat by the Rams, and it all comes down to coaching. And I think a lot of what we're seeing is the fact that Cliff's been in the NFL for 3 years now, and I think that's one of the big things is Cliff is still getting acclimated to coaching in the NFL, and a lot of his shortcomings as a coach are coming up against teams that he should beat every single time. So it's whenever the pressure's on the line, it looks like he's doing good game plans. He's got everyone lined up and ready to rock. But the minute it should be an easy win, Cliff just forgets what he's doing. And we saw a lot of this whenever Cliff Kingsbury was the head coach at Texas Tech, is that he coaches down to the teams that he's playing against. A lot of easy wins, be it, an FCS school against, one of the top 25 schools in the nation in terms of revenue in Texas Tech. Like you shouldn't be losing these games. And it's the fact that, one, his only head coaching experience prior to the Cardinals was Texas Tech, right? Like it was a, at best, B+ school in the Big 12. And he had one winning season there. Yeah, he was highly regarded because he's the prodigal son of Lubbock, Texas. But we're seeing a lot of that here with Arizona. The decisions that he's making are questionable at best, and hopefully his squad, because he's got a squad of coaches that have a lot of NFL experience around him. Hopefully they can bring him back down to earth, because something's got to right that ship there.
I mean, he comes from Texas Tech. He was known for a high-power offense. Mm-hmm. The one thing we don't want to see is what we saw on Sunday. Like, at all things, maybe their defense flopped, but he comes from a fun-and-gun offense.
Yeah.
That they should be dropping 20 to 30 points a game. I don't even know what they scored. I was really taken back by it, but yeah, once again, it's another thing that it's like a long season. NFL is a long season, and you go through your ups and downs. Like Miami, we started 1-6. You go through your ups and downs, but it's all about how you ride the wave. And right now, Arizona and Tampa Bay are 2 teams that are struggling.
Yep. We'll get into that. We'll talk about teams that keep the trend going of teams that are struggling. The Titans getting beat by the baked potato-led Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, at this point, I don't even know what Titans team we're going to get every week. And
it's a crapshoot.
Yeah. What is their streak? Is it their offense? Is it their defense? Who's showing up that week?
Well, we talked about it, that when Derrick Henry went out, Ryan Tannehill had to step it up. You can't blame the running game. Foreman, 22 carries, 108 yards. He did his part. Tannehill, 22 at 32, 23 at 32, 153 yards and a pick.
Yep.
That's not going to win you a playoff game.
No.
It's not, plain and simple. Their defense did fine. 19 points. Ben didn't throw a touchdown. Najee Harris held to 18 yards.
Yeah. Their defense is doing what they have to. I mean, for
Tannehill.
comparison, Kyler Murray also completed 23 passes and threw for 257 yards and a touchdown. He had a pick as well. But it's like Tannehill doesn't know how to throw the ball past 5 yards in front of him.
Well, he's a play action quarterback.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. I feel like he lost his confidence when Derrick Henry went out. And I've seen this Tannehill in Miami. This is nothing surprising to me. At the end of the day, we're just seeing the exposure of Tannehill.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this summer is going to be so damn interesting for this Deshaun Watson race. And not even just Deshaun Watson. You're probably going to have Aaron Rodgers and you might have Russell Wilson. Doesn't matter the age, they will get paid. And you're going to see teams who want to make that next step give up their future because they feel like they can win right now. And I don't blame them. Titans are one of those teams. You're going to find out this offseason if they really believe in Tannehill. And can we get out of that contract with him?
Yeah. No, I can't disagree with that. You're right. They have a running game. They have an offensive line. Their missing piece is a quarterback. I would like to see what someone like Cam could do behind that offensive line with that defense. Because I feel like Cam Newton would be doing better than Ryan Tannehill right now. But I have zero confidence in the Titans moving forward. That team with Ryan Tannehill you can't predict a win for them every week. I mean, there's nothing about this team that tells me they're going to go in and win in the playoffs. I mean, in the past 4 games, lost to the Texans. That should have never happened. Lost to the Patriots. I mean, got demolished by the Patriots. Beat Jacksonville. And then lost to the Steelers. Everything is going wrong for the Titans at the wrong time. And I agree with you. It's squarely on Ryan Tannehill's shoulders. And I am excited for this offseason, too, to see where these quarterbacks go.
I can count at least 5 teams right now that are going to be looking for immediate help. Not the draft, because this is a weak quarterback draft, but to help them immediately. Carolina is going to be one of them. You're going to see Tennessee. You're going to see Pittsburgh. You're going to see some teams. To be honest with you, I think Miami is out of that race. And I think we're going to talk about it later because you can't delete what I wrote about my Dolphins. we got some decisions we're going to make. We're probably going to be able to save our draft picks. But right now, Tennessee is limping in. They should have beat the Texans. They should have beat who they lost to. They beat the Jaguars. They should have beat the Steelers. They should have been 3-1 in this road thing. Now they're going to 49ers, Miami, and Texans. They could technically miss the playoffs.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. A team that's trying to make the playoffs, but likely won't and will just ruin their entire draft position. The Miami Dolphins winning 6 in a row.
That's a terrible segue. That's horrible.
I mean, I thought it was pretty great.
That's D-. Like let's talk about my team. First of all, we were destined for the number 1 pick. We lost 6 straight. Only to flip it around and to win 6 straight. That's why football is a game of runs and like motivate. Like it's about winning streaks. We're going in hot. We beat the teams. Yes, they weren't good teams. The Texans, the Jets, the Panthers, the Giants, and the Jets. The only decent team was Lamar Jackson on Thursday Night Football. We got a tough contest coming up Monday night against the Saints. And then we got the limping Titans, and then we end with the Patriots. We have to win out to make this respectable, to maybe slip into the playoffs with 10 wins. Tua's playing fantastic football. He is turning the ball over less. We was without Jalen Waddle, which sucks, but Duke Johnson Oh, Dookie boy. Yeah. He came in and balled out. 107 yards, 22 attempts, 2 touchdowns. It was beautiful. Sorry, Nate. That defense is playing bend don't break, but we will get our Javon Hollins back. So I'm excited to see him. Our players will get healthy. All of them were pretty much out because of COVID. They'll be back for Monday. I'm excited. This is like reverse role. Nell's not talking about his Panthers anymore, and I'm talking about my Dolphins.
I mean, we can talk about the Panthers, but all I'm going to say again is that fire Matt Rule and get us a better offensive line. A dude made a comment. He was like, "Yeah, we got 2 future starters on the line, and Dante Brown and Brady Christensen. Great. So why don't you play them? We're terrible. All they can do is go learn." All right.
What's our record?
5-9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm really excited for that Sam Darnold contract.
I forgot he's still around.
I'm so regretting everything that I said about Sam Darnold in the preseason. I was so stoked. For Sam Darnold. And then he let me down like he did every Jets fan.
I need like a montage clip of when you were talking about Sam Darnold and then some plays of him this season, and then right here.
It's terrible.
This right here.
He's only $23 million next year.
Jeez.
Rookie contract.
Oh my goodness.
Number 3 overall.
Why?
But again, you know, I'm not gonna be Matt Rule and blame the quarterbacks. That's not what you should do when you're talking about Carolina right now. You should do exactly the opposite of what Matt Rule's doing and blame Matt Rule. The dude has yet to field an offensive line that works. Actually, he did the first 3 weeks of the season, and then he did, I think, 4 or 5 weeks ago whenever he put Brady Christensen starting at left tackle. And everything worked. But for some reason, when it works, Matt Rule's like, nah, back to the drawing board. All right, dude, this isn't Baylor. Calm down. This isn't Temple. You're playing actual teams here. You're playing actual teams. I mean, half of our squad's from Temple, so that probably explains it too.
So you're talking about Matt Rule. You're talking about a lot. Hopefully he gets fired at the end of the season. I know we're watching for the quarterbacks this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches. The coaches that should have had head coaching jobs, I think they're still going to be available. That's going to be interesting as well, is, you know, the carousel of coaches. So that's going to be interesting. Hopefully y'all one of them.
Yeah. Also, we have breaking news. I won my fantasy game.
Oh, so on top of your breaking news, I am currently down by 15. You remember I said I was down by 3?
Yeah. Cooper Kupp?
15. Yeah.
Yeah, I have Cooper Kupp. He's got 34 points, and yeah, it's great. It's great. I won.
I have a 2% chance to win. God, I hate this.
I didn't need Cooper Kupp to put up 34 points, so don't put this on me. I just needed to put up a couple.
A couple touchdowns. That's what he did.
Yeah. Matt Rule coaching the Jags next. They can have him. We'll trade you Matt Rule for like an offensive lineman.
Urban Meyer.
Oh no, that's coming up. That's a whole goddamn segment.
That man is fantastic.
Oh gosh. That's the weekly recap though. Hitting a couple points every week. Next up, injuries. God, we got some not great ones this week. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes shut down for the rest of the season with a neck injury. It doesn't matter for the Giants at this point, so shutting him down makes sense, right?
Correct. Yeah, you don't put him out there. Anything related to neck.
Yeah.
No.
No idea who's starting for the Giants now, but hey, call Vinny Testaverde.
Matt Glennon.
Hey.
Matt Glennon.
Vinny Testaverde's always looking for money. Leonard Fournette was seen walking out of the game last night, Monday night, with crutches, so it looks like he's going to be shut down for the rest of the regular season, saving him for the playoffs. That's why they went ahead and signed Le'Veon Bell. And got in probably one of the worst tackles I've seen in a while. Chris Godwin tore his ACL last night as well. And you hate to see that. So he's obviously out. What does Chris Godwin being out mean for Tampa? That's Tom Brady's guy.
this is why you're seeing Antonio Brown come back. Chris Godwin stretched the field. Chris Godwin is your deep threat. You don't when you lose that, Scotty Miller is not doing that. That's why Antonio Brown will be back because Chris Godwin he was explosive. He was the one that moved the chains.
Yeah.
And that hurts. Tom Brady was liking him, so
Yep. So was I on my fantasy team.
he'd be all right.
And then in Denver, Teddy Bridgewater was carted off the field with a head injury in his game, but he did have movement in his extremities. The Broncos season was up and down. We didn't know if they would make the playoffs, but that doesn't matter in a situation like this. We're just glad that Teddy's fine. Teddy has struggled his entire career with shit like this, and you hate to see it for a guy who fought tooth and nail to get back to where he was.
Yeah.
God, I feel like everyone likes to root for Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, you want him to do well.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I see the Broncos going after a veteran quarterback in the offseason by the name of Aaron Rodgers.
Especially if the sheriff becomes part of that ownership group that buys the team.
The sheriff?
Peyton Manning.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers will be going over there for sure. And they're going to win.
Yeah, that being said, some of our top storylines this week. Dallas's offense is struggling while their defense is thriving. Anthony, what is going on in Dallas? Dak, we thought Dak was back. Dak's not back. Zeke's back. They can't be back at the same time, apparently.
That defense is great. But if you don't give them points, they will be exposed as well. I like their defense. Don't throw it to Diggs' side. Michael Parsons is going after it. DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side is beasting. They have a good defense.
Yeah.
But somehow their offense is not clicking right now. Dak is struggling to throw swing passes.
You know, and we say this coming off a win where Dak was 28 of 37 with 217 yards and a touchdown. No picks. But he was sacked 3 times. Zeke didn't get over 55 yards. Tony Pollard, of course, still doing his thing, and things were clicking. But you also have to remember they were playing the Giants. Let's take that with a grain of salt, and let's also take their defense with a grain of salt. I mean, they were catching passes that Mike Glennon was trying to throw to his receivers. Instead, he threw it to the Cowboys. But, I mean, at this point, I just don't see the Cowboys doing any damage in the playoffs. At all.
And I'm not trying to be a hater. If Dak cannot get his act straight, this will be a one and done for the Cowboys. Even with that great defense. Once again, what do you do in the offseason? Let's say you're one and done in the playoffs. What do you do, Dallas? You pay Dak, you got CeeDee Lamb, and you got receivers. Maybe you move on from Amari Cooper. Do you look at another running back? What is it? Maybe you go to your offensive coordinator. Maybe it's time to do something there. But what is the problem now? There should be no more excuses for Dallas because your defense is balling and you paid for your offense. Everybody on that offense got paid.
Yeah. We're being very critical for a 10-4 team.
I know. That's
they're
crazy.
They're also in one of the weaker divisions in the NFL, so
NFC least.
Yep. NFC least. Still pulling for the Eagles.
They're winning right now. They Wait a minute. What was the bet? Wait a minute. If Gardner Minshew is not playing and they make the playoffs with Jalen Hurts, that bet is null and void if I'm not mistaken, right?
Gardner Minshew just has to play in a playoff game. That was what it was.
So he has to play in the playoff game or start.
I don't know. Someone, Moss fan, go back and tell us. You probably remember. I don't remember. Something like that. We'll go back and figure it out. It was the week that Gardner Minshew started. I'm not going to ask Moss fan to do that. Don't do that. I'll go find it. We'll figure out this bet. I just want to see Anthony in jorts, a mullet, and a cutoff T-shirt.
You remember when Peter Griffin wore jorts? All right. There's a lot of things that be spewing out. But yeah, I'll do it. I mean, I'm a man of my word, but it's not going to be pretty.
I mean, it's going to be a glorious day when that happens.
Rip.
If he starts a playoff game, then you have to dress up. All right. I'm also gonna send you like the Amazon links for the jorts you need to order.
Yes.
Very specific clothing that you have to wear. Like this is. Gonna
I'm
be
not
very
wearing the
serious.
Daisy Dukes of it. I'm wearing that it fits to like a little bit above my knee.
Yeah,
like the
what
way
I wear.
you have it.
Yeah. And then we'll do a calendar shoot.
Oh yeah,
Rent you a horse for the day. Get you some pictures on the back of a horse. And then maybe in a field of flowers, laying on your side with your hand.
I'm down about that with a little flower in my mouth. Absolutely, I'm gonna go balls in on that one.
I can't wait to see Anthony in a mullet. So Jalen Hurts, I love you, but get hurt.
Oh my god, you're fan. Yeah, the Washington is about to score with this random quarterback.
Yeah. It's not random. Garrett Gilbert was a stud in the XFL.
See, that was your mind telling you not to say what you just said.
Listen, he started for the Panthers. That was a very dark year for us, but he started for the Panthers. I mean, that year Ron Rivera got fired, but hey, here we are.
Hey, back again with Ron Rivera. That's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, Ron Rivera, he brought Taylor Heineke with him, another star of the XFL. Fantastic. Ron Rivera's just he's just like, hey, how bad of a quarterback can I field?
So a random running back just scored for Washington. Never heard of him. Jarrett Jefferson.
We host a football podcast. We should. Jared Patterson.
Yeah, there you go. I've never heard of him. Like that's because so many running backs are out. I don't know anymore. These people,
He's a rookie, from Buffalo.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, nice. He has he has carried the ball 37 times for 135 yards this season.
In the season, 10-4.
Yeah, we should be better at knowing these players hosting a podcast. But hey,
I apologize.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm pretty sure a lot of people just come here for our entertainment value.
we try.
We're trying our best. Moving down the line, god dang, COVID is ravaging through the league right now. Another 40 players added to the COVID reserve list, 7 specifically from the Chiefs. Weird enough, like Carolina hasn't had many put on the list, but I think that they're like a fully vaccinated team. That makes some things crazy. I mean, at this point, we talked about it last week, Anthony. At this point, do you just say, hey, no in-person meetings, everyone do everything remote, you just show up to the game, we'll do position practices only, like limit contact with literally anyone, and don't leave your apartment unless you're going to the freaking facility?
So I'm gonna say this in 2 ways. I'm gonna say it the way I feel, and I'm gonna talk in the business aspect. Mm-hmm. The way I feel, you need to go remote everything. On practices, yeah, you got to be careful with that, because I wouldn't do any meetings in person, because if one person gets it, that whole room is now close contact, and now they're on the list, and now you're getting frustration. Baker Mayfield was one of them that's symptomatic and was upset about it. You're getting down a slippery slope with people. Just how they feel. Cole Beasley, if you want to go talk, read his article. He wrote some crazy shit about it.
He's insane.
Yeah. But let's talk business wise. You got to be careful, because your biggest game is the Super Bowl. You don't want that to be threatened. Mm-hmm. And just like, and I know I'm not like, I'm just thinking like NFL Roger Goodell. You got to be careful, because the playoffs, if a high-profile team is affected by this, then it's a lot of what ifs. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine going to the playoffs and Brady's out? Like, can you imagine if these high-profile quarterbacks are out because of close contact? So I think you just go remote until you have to practice, or you have to play. Yeah. At this point now, you should just know your team, but it's tough. Yeah. 40 more players, 7 to cheat. Tyreek Hill is one of them.
Yep. I mean, and the NFL and the NFLPA did come to an agreement on limiting or like scaling back on daily testing of players because, you know, if you're asymptomatic, and you're vaccinated, it's out of your system in a couple days, so you don't need to be tested daily. So we'll see what comes from that. But man, we said this last week. I just hope no one that's going on these lists gets symptoms and then is, you know, adversely affected by it in terms of their physical health moving forward. You know, again, there were players last season that got it and, you know, experienced just before the vaccine, experienced, you know, problems with their lungs moving forward. So at the end of the day, I just hope everyone's okay. But I agree with you. Like, yeah, it's Tampa Bay versus Kansas City in the Super Bowl. But spoiler alert, Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, and Tom Brady are all on the COVID list.
Yeah, like the Super Bowl. You hear that, and you're going into the Super Bowl now with like Blaine Gabbert and like
Chad Henne.
some guy named like, you know, can you imagine? Like your Super Bowl chance is riding on that. Like that's when you'll start seeing some illegal stuff happen, which you're not supposed to, but right now, try to get it under control now.
Yeah.
Because you just don't want it to like mess with you down the line.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of people taking control of their situations, the Washington football team.
You've been waiting for this one.
The Washington football team, in the pettiest move of NFL history, has started shipping their benches to the games that they're playing on the road simply because the Dallas Cowboys shipped benches to Washington, to FedEx Field, after the Seahawks told them that the benches were not keeping their heat. So the football team has now shipped benches to both Dallas and New York for their final 2 road games.
Can't beat no more petty than this. Because first of all, I didn't know until you told me why. I thought this was a COVID thing. But when you said that the benches wasn't keeping the players warm, wow. Wow, man. These 60s and 70s players are like rolling around anger right now thinking about this. But yeah, I guess you needed heated benches when you're sitting there for like a minute or two.
Listen, and special teams players got to stay warm.
Oh my God. Or you're going to get kicked by your coach.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. We're getting to that. We're getting to that line item later. But I mean,
that's the kind of laughing one thing about kickers. And I'm not supposed to laugh.
Oh God, the Panthers kicker.
Yes. Like, yo, I don't. It's not about like, he's hurt. Yeah, and I hope he's okay. But I got your text, and it said the Panther kicker was out before the game because he slipped.
No, okay. So if you go back and watch it, he was practicing field goals and he kicked one and then instantly went to the ground. It was like I was like, what even happened? How do you as a kicker get hurt doing the one thing that you're paid for?
That makes me. It's just funny because I thought he slipped like Charlie Brown. He missed the kick and slipped.
Lucy just pulled the ball out.
Like I'd have been in tears. I'm like, that's y'all season.
Now you want to see some funny stuff. There are some videos out there of Brandon Zylstra, wide receiver, PJ Walker, quarterback, and a few others taking kicks. Like taking turns practicing kicks. And these guys line up straight with the ball and they're like straight up into it. And they're like fairy step, like puppy step. And they're like, and it goes like 5 yards.
They don't want to get hurt.
Oh my goodness. And it was hilarious. Obviously Carolina didn't go for any, they only scored twice, but they didn't go for any extra points. They went for 2 both times.
Every time.
Two. God, but this guy went to kick, and as soon as he kicked, he grabbed his groin and fell to the ground. And I was just like, if there's not a better way to sum up the Panthers season, it's just at this point, I'm just rolling with it. This is what we get. This is what we've signed up for at this point. We deserve
Matt Rule. Matt Rule is like that meme of that dude who got his hands on his hip, just shaking his head, disappointed.
What's wild is Carolina had 4 different kickers in the first 4 games of the season because they couldn't get one that could make an extra point. And they finally got Zane Gonzalez, who hasn't missed a kick since like week 3.
He missed that one.
Yeah, by a mile. He missed it so much he hurt himself. I mean, do
Oh,
you think that
man.
this guy has insurance on his leg?
Not him, but somebody like Justin Tucker, you better. This Zane guy, it's like the Grammatica brothers and
Yeah.
how they got hurt. You know, one got hurt celebrating toward the ACL,
Yeah.
like jumping up and down, celebrating. Like I don't know why I laughed instantly when you text me that and I just saw it because all the video footage I saw was him going into the locker room being held up by two bigger players than him. And I was just like, damn,
God, it's just
it's a sad day for Carolina.
It's been a bit sad 10 weeks. Flew across the country to go see him live, and they couldn't even. No, we're not going to talk about that. We briefly touched on it, but Le'Veon Bell re-signed with the Bucs just weeks after the regular season said he was done with his career.
He wanted to box Jake Paul, like he wanted to be busy, but now he might win a Super Bowl ring
Again.
Did he win one already?
With Tampa.
He did?
Yes.
No, I thought that was Shady McCoy.
Wait, was it?
Yeah, that was Shady. Shady got his ring. He didn't do shit, but he got the ring.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So I didn't know because I saw the tweet of him wanting to box Jake Paul, and then the next day he signed. So I guess he's good with money. He's all right now. He's good.
He's good.
He's gonna be your 1 yard line. He's gonna fall forward because he's big. He's good.
Yeah, Bell doesn't have a ring. Sorry, I apologize.
It was Shady McCoy.
It was Shady McCoy. Who was it that has the rap career?
Le'Veon Bell.
Okay. Yeah, so that's why he's re-signing with the Buck. That's why he signed with
Correct.
the Bucks. Because that rap career went absolutely nowhere.
Exactly.
At some point, when are some of these athletes going to realize that music is not an avenue that they should take?
Why is that like the first thing they go? You know what? You know what
Shaq.
I blame? I blame the hype men. I blame the people around them that just like, oh, that's fire. Oh, you did good on that. That I like. You gonna be big. They're hyping them up to do this dumb stuff. Shaq, Kobe tried it. Let's talk about Le'Veon Bell, Damian Lillard. Like I could keep going.
I want to know who was around Shaq and was like, hey, by the way, you should go make this movie.
Hey, he did that movie in the right era. The 90s was a perfect era to do cheesy, corny movies.
Okay, listen. Still and Kazam are two of the worst movies to ever be made.
Are they though?
Yes.
Like
yes,
I got some
are.
terrible movies. I do.
We just
Like,
need Le'Veon
Snakes
Bell to
on a
make a
Plane.
movie. Snakes on a Plane is an American treasure. It's a cinematic
Sharknado 1, 2,
cinematic
3, and 4.
masterpiece.
Sharknado?
Yeah.
Sharknado.
Cinematic masterpiece.
I can't go on with this debate because the fact is you said it's a masterpiece and it's a shark and a tornado.
What about, hey, there are hungry great whites flying through the air in a tornado is not amazing.
Everything you just said.
Why?
Everything you just said. The actors in there. I saw Chris Jericho on top of a roller coaster. He got bit by a flying shark.
Everything you just said is what makes it amazing.
Wasn't one of the movies the way they killed him? The person's hand turned into a chainsaw and like cut the shark in half.
Yeah.
See?
I don't see
can't
any of the
argue.
problems here.
Look at your face. You mean like I can't argue with somebody who believes in this.
It's fantastic. But if we really want a bad movie, as soon as Le'Veon Bell hangs up the cleats, maybe he can go make a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll probably be in those like low budget, like just he might. I don't know. Maybe he might hit it big. He might be like The Rock.
Yeah, don't push it.
Okay,
don't push it.
People can
But
dream.
hey, maybe Le'Veon Bell helps the Bucks for the next couple weeks while Leonard Fournette's out, because the minute Fournette comes back, they're gonna be like, all right, get out.
Oh yeah, he should be on a 10-day contract. Can they do that in the NFL?
I mean,
Give him like a 10, 14-day contract like you do in the NBA and
get him out. He's gone.
No
God, I can't wait to
ring.
see him average 2.3 yards per carry in Tampa Bay.
That's being nice.
There were next games against Carolina. How do you think he's going to stack up against that defensive line?
Oh, he'll get 4 touchdowns on 6 yards. Yeah, he's gonna get every goal line touch. He can't do the little shake anymore. He's just gonna trip and fall forward. Touchdown.
Touchdown. Either that or Hassan Reddick disconnects his head from his body. We'll see. Hey, Hassan Reddick leading the Pro Bowl votes for the fan vote, by the way, for outside linebackers.
Oh, that was dope.
Brian Burns also like third in voting for defensive ends, and then of course Stephon Gilmore second in cornerback voting. But who's keeping track? Not me.
Is he doing well with y'all?
He's got 2 picks in 5 games?
Oh, okay. So he's fine.
Yeah, he wants to stay in Carolina, so we'll see what happens. But speaking of people who aren't sticking around, Urban Meyer.
This is another thing that I shouldn't laugh at. But when I read the headlines, I really need to see the video. I do. Anybody surprised? Nope, I'm not. He should have got fired when he didn't fly home with his team, went to a bar and started dancing on somebody that's not his wife.
Yeah.
That he sticked around 7, 8 more games, and then he kicks his kicker. See, I'm trying not to laugh. Try because I want to know the content of it. Like, was the kicker stretching? He's just like, this is my opportunity. He picked the smallest person on the field. He didn't pick.
No, if he wanted the smallest person, he would go with Marvin Jones Jr.
Yeah, like he picked one of the smallest people there. He didn't choose his right tackle. I just want to know what he said, the content, and how far back his leg went when he kicked him. That's my thing.
Urban Meyer, you're coaching grown ass men in the NFL. This ain't college no more. They're not impressionable youths. Most of them got more money than you do. Just saying. And they ain't putting up with his. They weren't putting up with his shit in Jacksonville. And listen, we talked about this last week whenever we put Urban Meyer on the hot seat. Well, obviously his seat was a lot hotter than we thought it was because he got fired 24 hours after our episode. I put a lot of this on Shad Khan, though. This guy should have...
What?
Dude, okay. Look at how bad Jacksonville's been since Shad Khan became owner. Almost as bad as Carolina's been since David Tepper bought that team. But we're not going to talk about that.
Do you know how bad this firing was by Sean Khan? Like,
they did it.
There's right now, I'm about to bleed it over to wrestling. His brother owns, if I'm not mistaken, AEW.
His son.
His son owns AEW. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There are wrestlers that are concerned that their contract might not be guaranteed because what happened with Urban Meyer. That's how bad the firing was for Urban Meyer. People are afraid because he got fired and he's supposed to be the savior of the franchise, drafted Trevor Lawrence, and he kicked the kicker. Can we just talk he kicked the kicker? Yeah. That's crazy.
I mean, listen. Also, it's crazy. This is insane. First of all, he probably ruined, or this guy, let's do a little timeline here. He gets hired in Jacksonville. He then hires his strength and conditioning coach, who has been accused and investigated for harassment at Ohio State.
Correct.
And for some questionable decisions. He's like, oh, sorry, I didn't know, and then gets rid of him. He then creates a fake quarterback competition between Gardner Minshew and Trevor Lawrence when everyone knew you were going to pick Trevor Lawrence, thus stunting Trevor Lawrence's growth with the number 1 squad, with the first team in Jacksonville. And frankly, looking at this team, a good coach would have been like, hey, Trevor, we're going to sit you for the first year until we can draft literally anything to help you or sign anything to help you. And then the bar scene happens. Urban Meyer's entire tenure with the Jacksonville Jaguars could be a movie.
Yeah.
And then everything else happens. There's reports of him calling all of his staff losers. They're not coaching good enough. Homie, hate to break it to you, but the head coach controls all of them.
You hired him.
Yeah.
You hired every single one of them. You said that they can't, like, he had better coaches at Bowling Green than here. You hired each and every one of them, and you just told them that you suck, and then you kicked your kicker.
And then he got into a spat with Marvin Jones Jr., apparently. Apparently he's been in spats with half the players. Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. and at this point, I'm like, Shad Khan, how did it take this long, homie? What's going through your mind?
He must have been on vacation for like 5 weeks.
He was like, hey, AEW's doing great in the ratings. That's all I care about right now. Go, son, go. Woo! Proud of you.
Son, yay.
Proud of you.
Dad, your coach. Shut up.
Shut up. Shut up. Now AEW's ratings are declining, and Shad Khan fired his coach, and it's just not a great month for the Khans.
Yeah.
But, so that's the top storylines of the week. Obviously saving the best for last. Urban Meyer, I just want to remind everyone that whenever he was hired, he went to the media and said, I only coach winners. Obviously you don't. You kick them. I
just want to know, like, the content of the kick. You won't kick me. Watch.
Watch.
Oh, man.
Watch me. I mean, and remember how stoked we were when Urban Meyer and Charlie Strong appeared on AEW Double or Nothing? We were like, that's so cool. Jericho took, you know what happened is that laptop that Chris Jericho used to hit whoever he's fighting over the head and broke, obviously, that contained everything that Urban Meyer knows about football, and without it, he was lost.
So he just winged it the whole season.
Yeah, he just
not
winged
the
it
whole season.
Yep, whole season he winged it. Also, there were probably like some sayings that he's got to himself. Today I will be a good person. Today I will not kick my kicker. When all that went out the door.
So you don't know how to kick? This is how you kick.
We can blame all this on Chris Jericho.
Man, how that aged so quickly.
Yeah, so poorly, in fact. But people that are aging well, our rookie recap of the week. I'm getting really good with these segues.
Yeah, you did. That was good. The Dolphin one sucked, but this one was good.
Yeah. I just took your words on the Dolphin one. You're the one that said they're going to go all the way to a 9-8 season and pick number 16. That was you, not me.
But you said it first.
No, you said it first before we were on the air, sir.
Oh, you're just going to take the stuff we say off air. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You do too. Listen. Someone that always stays on air, though. Micah Parsons. 5 pressures, 2 sacks in 19 plays. This guy literally changed the fate of the game in 19 plays.
That's scary. That's a scary man. I'm telling you. Their defense is something. All they need is their offense to score just a little bit, and they might be able to do something. But it's Dallas we're talking about, and they're playing in the league that has a Washington football team that doesn't have, like, they're bringing their own bench to players. Gardner Minshew or Jalen Hurts. I don't know which one. I think Moss fan is a big fan of Jalen Hurts. And then you have the Giants. Danny Dimes got a neck injury, and Mike Glennon is playing for him. But I hope they can win.
Yeah. But, man, Micah Parsons has made every single statement possible that he needs to make to not only win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but Defensive Player of the Year. If he's not in consideration for any of those, and not in consideration for Defensive Player of the Year, then let's be honest, it's probably going to TJ Watt. He just broke the Steelers record for sacks in a season, which is funny, and we can talk about that in a second, but I want to stick on Micah Parsons. This kid's got everything you want in a freaking a down playing linebacker. He can play in coverage. He did against the Saints last week. And he's a great defensive end whenever he plays on the line. There's everything about Micah Parsons is what you want to build a team around. I said it last week, and I'm going to stick to this. Micah Parsons is what happens whenever you combine Luke Kuechly with Terrell Suggs.
He's an animal.
Mm-hmm.
Build around him.
Yeah. Speaking of players to build around, your Miami Dolphins should give the ball to Jalen Waddle as often as possible. The dude's on pace to break Anquan Bolden's rookie record of 101 receptions. And to add on to that, I saw a funny line from I think it's Pro Football Network, or one of those website, Pro Football Focus, or one of them, that said if the Dolphins' game plan remains the same next year, Jalen Waddle could quite possibly hit 200 receptions.
Yeah. I can't even argue. That could be a thing because we love giving him the ball any way possible. We're making sure that we justify, because a lot of people was complaining why we draft him over a few other people, especially Devonte Smith from the Eagles and all these other defensive players. Michael Parsons was on the board, and we're just showing them that, hey, he's legit. He's the real deal, even though he wasn't the number one receiver at Alabama.
Yep. It's just insane. Jamar Chase started off so hot, and that's basically the only rookie receiver we were talking about, because Devonte Smith is still finding his groove. And I mean, I also think a lot of Devonte Smith's shortcomings can be placed in the fact that he's questionable quarterback play every week. You never know which Jalen Hurts is going to show up. Is it going to be the Jalen Hurts that dishes the ball to Devonte every week? Or is it going to be the Jalen Hurts or Gardner Minshew that thinks that Dallas Goedert is obviously the better tight end or the better receiver there? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think Jalen Waddle has made a very good case for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it. But Mac Jones is also up there.
Najee Harris is up there as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's this was a good rookie class. I want to say Pat Surtain Jr., he's doing his thing in Denver.
Yep.
You got Michael Parsons. You have Jamar Chase was balling. The left tackle for Detroit.
Yep.
He's a monster. He's top 3 tackles in the league.
Yep.
This is a good draft. This is not the quarterbacks are kind of iffy, but I'll give them time.
Yeah. I wouldn't know. J.C. Horn got hurt in the third game against Houston. So, but hey, in 3 games he was top in tackles and had an interception. So then he broke his foot, which is great.
Goddard just caught another first down.
Oh, love to see it. That being said, our favorite segment: Contenders or Pretenders.
This is fun. I like this.
All right, so let's talk about it. The Indianapolis Colts.
Contenders. They are just proving it. They, you know what? Taylor, he needs to win MVP. This is fantastic. Contenders, they're a baller. They're rolling into the playoffs, just looking great. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty great because they beat the Patriots, obviously, 27-17, who everyone's obviously thinking the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers. Someone said Panthers in chat. That's why I said it. The Patriots are the team to beat right now. But the Colts were like, hey, so what if we do that thing that the Patriots just did where they barely threw the ball and give the ball to our running back and win the game that way? And it worked. I mean, it also helped that Mac Jones had 2 interceptions. So, that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. It's a great thing. But Jonathan Taylor had 170 yards. Let's just say Carson Wentz needs to do better than he did in this game because he was 5 of 12 for 57 yards with a touchdown and interception. So he needs to do better than that. But he doesn't have to do much better than that. That offensive line and Jonathan Taylor, as well as the defense that has been showing up, I agree. Colts are contenders.
Yeah.
Next one from the same game. New England Patriots.
So I'm going off of the division, and Bills are having up and down. I'm going to say they're contenders because they will make the playoffs.
Are they Super Bowl contenders, though?
No. They are a year or 2 away from it because Matt Jones needs to throw the football.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He needs to throw it more than 4 times a game, 3 times a game. So right now, it's kind of wrong to call them pretenders because they are playing good defense, great defense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretenders when it comes to the Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah. Such a stark change. And I agree with you. I think they're pretenders when it comes to the Super Bowl. Obviously, they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, there's actually a scenario where they could miss the playoffs, and the Dolphins could win the division. So it's still there. It's still there. But I mean, Mac Jones throwing the ball 45 times 2 weeks after he threw the ball 3 times. Bill Belichick is a genius. He is a coaching genius.
I hate him.
But let's get some consistency. What's going on here? Because I'm not going to lie, you've thrown the ball 45 times. I'd expect you to have over 300 yards. Granted, he was only a yard off of that. But, I mean, the 2 picks that he threw into horrible coverage. And the rookie in Mac Jones showed. But also the guy that I've compared him to a lot, the Alex Smith in Mac Jones showed himself. This was go back and watch it. This is an Alex Smith game from Mac Jones. So I think this is kind of the ceiling of what you'll see from Mac Jones moving forward. Obviously, maybe he'll probably minimize the interceptions and some of the incompletions he has, but I wouldn't expect, in my humble opinion, to see much more flair from Mac Jones than what we saw against Indianapolis. And the only reason he threw the ball is because they were down 14. I mean, they were down 20 to 0 going into the fourth quarter. Most of those passes came in the fourth quarter.
They had to.
Yep. All right. The big one. The Arizona Cardinals, pretenders or contenders?
The obvious answer right now is pretenders, but deep down in my heart, they are contenders. Mm-hmm. I know they look like complete and utter crap right now, but I still think with the firepower and when they are fully healthy, they are still a top 5 team in the league. So with that, I do have to say they're contenders.
I say they're contenders, but I put a caveat on it. I think they're contenders if Cliff can pull his head out of his ass and coach better games.
You can't do that. Straight up answer, contenders or pretenders?
They're contenders, but not they're the Patriots. They're the Patriots.
There's no but.
They're not Super Bowl contenders, they're playoff contenders.
So they're pretenders.
No, you said the Pats were contenders.
I said the Pats were pretenders when it comes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I make the rules here.
Oh, okay. So we don't have house rules labeled out. All right. Okay.
No, right. I think if Cliff Kingsbury can get his coaching plan down pat, if he can figure out what he's doing, I think, yes, they're going to be a lot better. So I think they are contenders with an asterisk.
Oh.
All right, moving down the line, another team that struggled in weeks, now got injury issues, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This is actually an easier answer than you think. Mm-hmm. They're contenders. I'm not worried about them at all.
Man, that's confident.
No, it's Tom Brady. As long as you got Brady, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, Tom Brady throwing the ball to himself in the Super Bowl. That's what's going to happen. Tom Brady for 3 yards.
Touchdowns. They're just confused. They just get confused.
Just another replay of when Marcus Mariota threw a touchdown pass to himself.
Oh, yeah.
I miss him. Where's he at now? Las Vegas?
The Raiders.
Yeah,
he's with the Raiders.
Yeah. I agree, though. I think the Bucs are contenders. There are some major question marks on that team. Especially now that your number one receiver and Godwin's out and your running back and Leonard Fournette's out, so that's obviously going to hurt your placement when it comes to seeding in the NFC playoffs. So we'll see what happens, but I think they're contenders. But everything could fall apart on them tomorrow if anyone else gets hurt.
Correct. This is true.
All right, and last but not least, our favorite team to talk about, the Cleveland Browns.
Pretenders.
It's
I'm not even gonna think about this. Hell no. Nah. You are a season away for blowing up this whole team. Mm-hmm. I think it didn't work. They are great on paper. They have like a stout offensive line. They got the receivers. They got the dual head running back. They have Clowney and Garrett as their edge rushers. They do not work as a team. You already fired the coach before. So at this point, and Baker Mayfield, he's not that guy.
You stole what I was gonna say.
He's not. He's
This
just
was
not that
this.
guy.
I love Baker Mayfield. I love Baker Mayfield. You know, obviously, he gained his fame in Oklahoma, but started at Texas Tech. Actually, in a competition, his walk-on freshman season for starting quarterback at Texas Tech with Patrick Mahomes and Davis Webb. Talk about three legendary college quarterbacks. Davis Webb, though, obviously not anywhere to be found, but, you know, transferred to Cal, and then Baker Mayfield went to Oklahoma. And Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. Had got a fucking 45-year contract out of Kansas City. But I don't think that Baker Mayfield will ever lead this team to a Super Bowl. I think that he can lead another well-established team to a Super Bowl. Like, if somehow, I don't know, Miami got him.
Hell no.
Yeah.
No.
I'm saying if. It's theoretical.
Oh, no. Like, here's the thing. You have the perfect weapon. You have great weapons. What more can you ask for? Why can't you get the job done? You had a new head coach. You fired one. I still think that was the wrong decision to fire. Oh my God, what's his name? Ooh, the previous coach. He just got the job, a college football job. Man, it's gonna mess with me. You shouldn't got rid of him, and then you hired the intern coach that did something, and you're still not getting it done. I know he's been hurt, all this stuff, but everybody gets hurt. I don't see it. I don't.
Yep.
His stats are not showing. He's midline in the quarterback rating. He's just not improving. This is his third season.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully the Browns have something to look forward to soon because, they need it. They need it. Looking ahead to next week, all we wrote was, are they going to have football?
It said, nope, sleep in.
Nope, yeah, sleep in. No, we got a lot of football coming up next week. A lot of good games, too. So I'm not going to prepare, Anthony for any of these. So I'm just going to ask him off the top of my head what we think is going to happen. But, I mean, two of the teams we just talked about in Pretenders and Contenders, you have the Indianapolis Colts visiting the Arizona Cardinals. I think it's probably one of the marquee games of the week. Colts obviously 8-6, trying to get up to a 10-win in the next two games. I think this game's a toss-up. What Cardinals are we getting is the biggest question. If we get the well-coached Cardinals and the Kyler Murray, he's not having to run for his life and throw the ball to the high heavens and hoping for a reception, the Cardinals win this. If this is a methodical Cardinals team that we have seen in all their wins, then the Cardinals win this easy. They have Chase Edmonds back. So now they got their dual-headed running back situation going with James Conner and Chase Edmonds. Anytime you're anytime you within the 10 yards of the end zone, give the ball James Conner. He'll score. He's got like 18 touchdowns on the season or something stupid.
I want to say this is a bounce back game for Arizona, but man, this is bad timing. They're running into a hot Colts team. I think Taylor is going to run for 3 touchdowns, and we're going to go on this show next week talking about how the Cardinals are maybe pretenders.
Yeah. It's a shame. But I just want to see a good game on that one. I think another good game we have coming up is the AFC East showdown between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. This is the make or break for Buffalo. We said last week Buffalo had to win against Carolina, and they did convincingly. They forced turnovers where turnovers needed to happen. Their offense, they committed to the run. They did everything right, but they have to continue to do it against New England, and it can't be second half heroics from Josh Allen, at least in my opinion.
What I want and what... Okay, so what I want is obviously Buffalo to lose and Miami to win for the playoffs thing. I think it's going to be tough because they're going to New England, and Gillette Stadium is something different. especially during this time of the season, the crowd and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The running game might control this. If New England can run the ball, control the time of possession, that's taking the ball out of Josh Allen's hand, which is always a good thing. Belichick is a mastermind. He has McDermott so frustrated. I remember the last time they played, he just couldn't explain why they lost to the Patriots. I think this is a 2-score win for New England.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just keep on rolling and they clinch the playoffs and all that stuff this week coming up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously I need Josh Allen to ball out. Fantasy playoffs, Moss fan, I'm coming for you. I don't have another quarterback. Start Cam Newton, but I don't know how much playing time he's going to get. But I just think it's going to be a good game. This is two teams that want to beat the crap out of each other right now, and that's going to be exciting. Other than that, I think the biggest game is probably Washington versus Dallas. Dallas has got a lot to prove. We need to see the offense really step up for Dallas. That's Sunday night. That's day after Christmas. Everyone's going to be full and drunk, having a good time. Yes. But do we get a good game from Dallas? And you've said it. Dak needs to step up. Let's see a convincing win from Dallas. Dallas is going to win this game, but they can't play down to Washington.
Yeah, no, they better decisive win. They already won the division, but right now we just need to see something from the offense.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I
agree. And with that brings us to the end of Week 15 of the regular season. Anthony, as always, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you, homie. Yeah. And then some notes. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, make sure to come watch us live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Over on twitch.tv/rdsports. Checking something real quick. And you can interact with us in chat. So if you hear us calling out names, that's why. Also, that being said, make sure to like the stream or I'm not on YouTube right now. What am I talking about? Make sure, or Facebook, make sure to follow on your favorite platform. And leave you with some smart parting words. If you're trying to keep your job, don't kick your kicker. Thanks everyone. Again, my name is Nel Star, joined by Anthony. You can find our socials down below in the description. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Kick the kicker.